At times, DC's animated movie universe can be a bit of a mess, difficult to follow, full of reboots, and packed with crossovers. That's why in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the entire timeline of both the DCAMU and the Tomorrowverse, so you can finally watch every film in the right order. What's up my fellow cinephiles and movie geeks alike? Today we're back with another video and we're going to be tackling the ultimate watch order for DC's animated movies, ranging from the Flashpoint Paradox all the way through to Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3. With over 25 films and short features, this universe can be quite the puzzle. But don't worry, I've done all the hard work for you. All you gotta do is sit back and relax. Now let's get straight into it. Technically not a part of the DCAMU for most of its runtime, Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox is where it all begins. Barry Allen's attempt to save his mother rewrites history, creating a darker, alternate world known as Flashpoint. By the end of the movie, he resets the timeline entirely, and when Barry wakes up, the calendar behind him shows October instead of November, marking the start of a new reality, the DC Animated Movies universe, also known as the DCAMU. Now we get to Justice League War. This film shows the formation of the Justice League when Darkseid invades Earth. We know it's set in November thanks to a reference to high school state finals that happens during this month. What's important here though is that the Flash shows no awareness of the Flashpoint timeline, confirming that this takes place after the reboot. Next up is Son of Batman. The events are set around 2013 as shown in the film's background details. It introduces Damian Wayne, Batman's son, and kicks off the Bat family story arc that continues throughout the DCAMU. It is entirely possible that this one actually takes place before Justice League War. However, as it doesn't have a strict date, I think watching them in this order actually makes for a better viewing experience, introducing us to all the main heroes of this universe in Justice League War, and then following up with a solo Batman film. Also, this way it kind of breaks up the Justice League films, as there will be one following this. At this point in the video, I'd also like to mention that I will be doing a rewatch series covering all these movies starting in the new year. So if that is something you might be interested in seeing, consider subscribing and turning on notifications so you can watch that video as soon as it comes out. Anyway, back to the video. A week later comes Justice League Throne of Atlantis. Steve Trevor mentions over a phone call that the team named Justice League was changed just last week, confirming it follows immediately after Justice League War. This was later confirmed by writer Heath Corson. The Nightwing and Robin short takes place during the events of Throne of Atlantis. It's included as a bonus feature on that movie's home release and helps connect Son of Batman to the larger timeline. Next is Batman vs. Robin, which takes place a few months later, around late February to early March. Dialogue mentions Bruce's relationship with Samantha Vanover, lasting about 3 months since the Nightwing and Robin short, helping narrow down the date. Batman Bad Blood follows, though no exact date is given. It's mentioned that the Heretic has been active for 10 months, placing this story in late 2014. Next, Justice League vs. Teen Titans. We can place this movie in 2015, based on the 2016 newspaper shown in its sequel, Teen Titans The Judas Contract. Then comes Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. With Professor Zoom's appearance, it ties directly back to the Flashpoint Paradox, suggesting this film takes place in October 2015. The tie-in comic happens just weeks after this film, as Knockout recovers and Captain Boomerang's bruises have healed. Justice League Dark takes place sometime after Hell to Pay. The League has expanded, and its larger membership hints that several years have passed since Justice League War. As for Teen Titans The Judas Contract, this is the sequel to Justice League vs. Teen Titans. This story happens about a year later. Newspaper headlines date it in around late 2016, continuing the Teen Titans arc. Now we reach one of the biggest DCAMU events, the death of Superman. The League discusses their budget for the fiscal year, and Batman mentions Damian is away at school.
Are you in the PTA too? Tell me you're in the PTA.
That lines up with either March or September. but based on later films, March 2018 fits the best for this one. This movie also has a comic book tie-in, similar to Hell to Pay, taking place during the events of the movie and slightly after. Reign of the Supermen follows 6 months later, placing it around September 2018. Next, Constantine, City of Demons. A newspaper date places it in around late October to early November of 2018, showing Constantine's story running parallel to the League's events. Batman Hush and Wonder Woman Bloodlines happen around early to late November 2018. Bloodlines even confirms its main events take place after Hush, making them back-to-back in the timeline. Finally, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. The prologue occurs 2 years earlier, but the main events of the film happen in 2020. This is the grand finale for the DCAMU, a brutal, emotional end that sees the Flash creating another flashpoint to reboot the universe. The short film Constantine the House of Mystery acts as a postscript. It takes place after Flash resets the timeline again, trapping Constantine in a mysterious time loop. This marks the end of the DCAMU and the birth of a brand new universe. The new timeline begins with Superman, Man of Tomorrow. This tells the origin of a young Clark Kent as he learns to become the hero we all know. It sets the visual style and tone for this new continuity. Next, Justice Society World War II. Barry Allen accidentally travels to the past and joins the JSA during World War II, linking the heroes of different eras together. This confirms the new multiverse is already in play. Also included here is the short film Commandy, The Last Boy on Earth, expanding the universe's scope, although this short film is set quite a ways in the future. Next is Batman The Long Halloween, Part 1, focusing on Bruce's early detective years and the infamous Holiday Killer case. It's gritty, atmospheric, and marks Batman's formative growth in this new world. Also tied into this is the Losers Showcase short. Part 2 continues right after, chronicling Harvey Dent's tragic transformation into Two-Face. It rounds out one of the best Batman arcs in animation, and sets up Gotham's future for this universe. Part of this movie's home release is also DC Showcase Blue Beetle. This can be watched either before or after the Long Halloween Part 2, as it doesn't really strictly tie into the movie. Green Lantern Beware My Power expands things to the cosmic level. We're introduced to John Stewart as the newest Lantern, connecting space lore to the Tomorrowverse timeline. It's accompanied by the Adam Strange Showcase short, which gives even more galactic context. Jumping ahead to the 31st century, Legion of Superheroes follows Supergirl as she joins the Legion Academy. This film expands the timeline into the far future, showing Superman's lasting legacy. Next up is Justice League Warworld. Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman are trapped in alternate realities on Mongel's Warworld. This movie acts as a direct setup for the massive Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy. Finally, we reach the epic conclusion. Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 through 3. Part 1 kicks off the multiversal destruction. Part 2 raises the stakes as entire worlds fall. And Part 3 delivers the grand finale, closing out the Tomorrowverse in an emotional, universe-spanning climax. This trilogy wraps up everything started with Man of Tomorrow, ending yet another incredible chapter in DC's animated history. And there you have it, the complete DC animated movie universe timeline, from the Flashpoint Paradox all the way through to Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment telling me which DC animated movie is your favourite. Also, if you stuck around this far, it probably means you like the DC animated movie universe, and if you want to watch a full rewatch series where I will be going into each movie in detail, be sure to hit subscribe and pay attention to this channel in the new year, as I will be going through each and every movie. Anyway, until next time, my name is Chris, and I'll be seeing you.